Hello and good evening, guys or ladies. It is 8:54 p.m. here, so that's why I can say it. My name is KiNGTripD, and today I'm bringing you a bronze solo queue match. Yes, it is bronze. It's going to be a lot of fail, but it's just for fun. So, a few of my friends are actually in this game. They're both dual queuing, and this is Darius and the Trogath on the blue team. Darius is played by my friend GodKnight01, and Trogath is played by my other friend Mlah. Kind of funny. It would have been better with Dr. Mondo, how he sticks out his tongue is like Mwah. Suits the name, but oh well, that's how it's going to be. Unfortunately tonight my duo caster is not online, so I'll be doing this solo. It's going to be pretty fun, and we'll see how we go. Now let's skip to that little introduction, go straight into the game. As you can see in the team comps, we'll get a quick little analysis. We have on blue team, it's going to be top lane Darius, I believe. The jungle Wukong, a mid lane Trogath, and bot lane Jinx Annie. Whilst on the purple team, we're running the Renekton top lane. Getmum is running Lee Sin in the jungle. Third Meister with Ziggs and Kazuko, and Strike playing Thresh, Caitlyn bot lane. Pretty standard picks in terms of the purple team. Like a lot of them have been seen in competitive play, have been seen in sort of a lot of the tiers. Ziggs in mid lane is sort of one of the few consistently seen apart from LeBlanc. Renekton, very popular, so is Lee Sin, Thresh, and Caitlyn. So no surprise there. Pretty interested on the blue team. I haven't seen much Darius being picked up. I believe, based on what I'm seeing, and I unfortunately can't see banned champions, but I'd assume that Renekton was picked early, and Darius is more or less a counter pick. Reason why I know, because based on how my friend plays, how GodKnight plays, he tends to pick the Darius into Renekton almost every single time. And we should expect him to play very aggressive in the lane. So I'll try to focus much onto that lane. You'll see a lot of aggression comp play from him. But in terms of team comp, I'd like to see blue team, I think, more or less want team fights. You've got the frontliner with Darius and Renekton. No, it's not Renekton. Renekton's on the opposite side. Sorry. Darius and Trogath. You have the knock-up from Rupture from Trogath, followed by an initiation from Annie, who flash Tibbers. You have the Cyclone from Wukong. That's a lot of AoE sort of CC and disruption into the team. Meanwhile, you have Jinx, who, thanks to Fishbones, she can AoE crit, if she builds up crit, that is, from a distance. And Super Mega Death Rocket does a lot of AoE nuke damage the lower the enemy's health is. So more or less, they're a teamfight oriented top. And speaking of that, just Annie and Jinx, an absurd lane. I absolutely love watching them play. Probably pre-6 they might try to poke down Caitlyn Thresh. More or less, Caitlyn Thresh will have the better advantage pre-6. But once level 6 happens, once Annie has Tibbers, once Jinx has Super Mega Death Rocket, expect a flash Tibbers onto either Caitlyn or Thresh, followed by Flame Chompers from Jinx, maybe Zap to add into the burst with Super Mega Death Rocket, or Super Mega Death Rocket and auto attack with probably Pow, because you can generate attack speed, and once you get to kill, get excited, activate, get to movement speed, and probably chase down the second kill. So once level 6 comes, I'll focus around there. Hopefully Wukong's around level 6 as well to see a massive wombo combo with Annie, Tibbers, Wukong Cyclone, sorry. That's what I see from the blue team. On the purple team, though, they are, I guess, not really much team fighting team, because you got Renekton and Lee Sin. They'll be good frontliner. I can see a little catch out idea with Thresh and Lee Sin, the insect as what people tend to call it, which is he'll Q Sonic Wave onto an enemy champion, and no, it's Resonance Strain to Sonic Wave, I believe. Dash towards them, and then sort of leapfrog behind them onto a ward, and just Dragon Rage the person into the enemy team, into his team. And it's a pretty interesting mechanic. Insect does that a lot. So probably to see that happening. Otherwise, I guess Renekton will try to do is win his lane, sort of just to be the frontliner tank. Otherwise, I'd probably see blue team winning this outcome later in the game. I'm just moving around chat box, just moving this around so we can see the better matchups, like the top lane, for instance, mid lane, and jungle, for instance. So we can keep up In terms of CS kills, everything's even. In terms of level 1, I don't think anyone would do risky invade. You can see sort of red team right now, red team, purple team. I think I might have colorblind mode on, which is probably helpful for a lot. Red team doing the whole wall thing. You've got Renekton currently up here. You've got Ziggs covering the other entrance wall with Renekton. Lee Sin covering sort of that jungle entrance, and then just have Thresh and Thresh and Caitlyn sort of staying around blue to help with the leash. Meanwhile, blue team doing the same thing, probably definitely giving the red first over to Wukong. So after getting the red buff, he'll do probably wolves and then actually gank top first. It is one of the most common strategies from a jungler to do, as Ziggs trying to be a little aggressive, trying to see if get a little poke down, but Jinx and Annie throwing it back. Ziggs actually coming out a bit of a head because he managed to damage 2 of them and actually have more health after that. And Annie doing her little laugh. So both teams will be starting near the bottom side. So after Lee Sin completes his red, after Wukong completes his blue, they'll both be level 3. That's if they do either Wraiths or Wolves in between the red blue buff. And with that, they'll definitely gank top lane. So expect a really early fight in top lane, which was what I expected. Like, knowing God Knight 01, knowing how he plays, and as you can see, he's already positioning aggressively. He's starting to build up those passive onto Renekton and just play quite aggressive on him, using the Decimate. I expect God Knight 01 to do that, and hopefully he's probably called the jungler to say, gank my lane, I want to get an early kill, start a snowball. And that's what it is. It's a snowball heavy lane. Meanwhile, bot lane, see Caitlyn and Annie just sort of poking each other around. Caitlyn getting the better advantage of it. And I actually want to jump back down there, but I want to know if God Knight actually engages with the level 2. Unfortunately, he doesn't use the level 2 to his advantage. He should have, though. Since he hit level 2 and still level 2 to level 1 right now with Renekton and Darius, had he actually done something, maybe queued, decimated with Cutthroat, crippling strike, Cutthroat's talons. Had he done a crippling strike and decimate, he probably got on Renekton extremely low. Fortunately, didn't do it, and so Renekton was able to get back in level 1 with building up his Fury passive. It would amplify his Q, which heals. And we're going to look in the mid lane though, because I think Wukong is prepping up for a little gank. Lee Sin is around the corner though, so Cho'Gath isn't really in position. Actually does. Wukong does stealth in, jumps onto Ziggs. Cho'Gath throws out the rupture and Ziggs flashing out of it. So that's the burnt flash from Ziggs. That's a really good gank from blue team. Sir Nassel doing a great job there, getting the flash out, and so Ziggs is quite low. Meanwhile, in top lane, Lee Sin does notice that Wukong is in bot lane, so he's jumping onto Darius. Darius pulls in, God Knight 01, trying to get a kill. Gets ignited from Renekton. Had he ignited the Renekton, it would have probably been a kill as well. Unfortunately, didn't get the kill. Renekton does get to pick up the first blood, and now they're going to shove up top lane. Meanwhile, bot lane is just sort of farming, poking around a bit. So there we go. Lee Sin ganking top lane. I would have assumed Wukong should gank too, but unfortunately, he's deciding to gank the bot lane. He does stealth decoys in, but doesn't really work. Out attacks the Thresh, and Jinx throws out the Zap, trying to get more poke, but didn't really work out. That knowledge, though, since Wukong is bot lane, we see Lee Sin going for a little invade, and blue team don't have any vision. So he's going to take the wolf camp freely. And he's probably going to even take white camp. So good job from Lee Sin knowing that Wukong, knowing that Sir Nassel was bot lane. Get Mum decided to, like, I'm going to take this jungle camp. I'm going to sort of force him a bit behind, but I'm going to, whilst I gain the lead. So good job by Get Mum. Great map awareness. He's probably going to either back right now, yes, which he has, and he's currently sitting on 1,000 gold. So expect probably a Spirit Stone out of it, maybe boots, and a couple either wards and pots. It will help him like gank potential, clear jungle rave much faster. There you go, Spirit Stone, boots, and a pink ward. Very interesting. That'll probably be an aggressive pink ward since he's already placed pink normal ward right there using his trinket. So aggressive wards get knowledge of where Wukong is, probably for more counter jungling and ganking. Now Renekton, he did back up and buy the Giant Spell, but unfortunately going back in the bot lane, Jinx does engage onto Caitlyn, did get the zap off, followed by Flame Chompers. Meanwhile, Annie did stun her, but she took a lot of poke back, and Jinx was able to get harassment down, but unfortunately wasn't enough, and Annie will have to back. Going back in the top lane, Renekton going a bit aggressive. He's in the driver's seat right now. That first blood did give him the lead, and that's what I said. It's a snowball lane there. Unfortunately, God Noda 1, my friend, did misplay a bit early at level 2. Could have abused it a bit more, but he is learning. He will eventually get better. Lee Sin, though, not knowing where Wukong is actually deciding to gank bot lane because Jinx is out of position. Throws out the Sonic Wave. Unfortunately, Jinx flashes. A good flash from her. Well done. Too bad you weren't playing much of Map Awareness. You could have probably not burnt Flash. Oh well. Live and learn. Now, in terms of gold, blue team RK behind. That is probably due to the fact that all of blue team are behind the CS except for Cho'Gath. And he flashing onto the, Caitlyn, throws out her Q, gets a stun off. Meanwhile, Thresh was fighting against Jinx, and Jinx picks up, gets a kill thanks to the Wukong gank. Lee Sin ganking, but Wukong is still there helping out. Will he pick up the kill onto the Lee Sin? He does, thanks to the ignite from Jinx. And they continue to tower dive. Jinx picks up another assist while Wukong getting the second kill. So double kill from Wukong. Great job there. He comes in for the gank. Lee Sin was also around for the gank as well. Unfortunately, Wukong's presence able to kill the Thresh really early on, as well as Annie zoning out Caitlyn, doing enough damage onto Caitlyn. Managed to help Jinx and Wukong sort of pick up the kill because they were more healthier than the Lee Sin Caitlyn. Just because Caitlyn herself was really, really low. Because now with that, Wukong does manage to back up and buy the Elder Lizard, so he's going to hurt a lot. Darius opting to go tanky. He's aware that he's behind. He's not going to win if he goes damage, so he's opting to go tanky. And it's a good idea. I agree. I like the decision making from him. I agree with what God Knight is doing. He is behind. He knows he's behind. Don't go damage because then you'll just be even more behind and you'll be useless. And he knows by going tank, he can at least. I'm not going to do much damage, but I'm going to be that frontliner. I trust Wukong and the rest of the team to do damage. I'm just going to rely on my ultimate to do as much damage as possible. It's a good idea for him. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, La and Third Meester. What have you guys been doing this game? Just a farm lane? No surprise there. Cho'Gath is sort of hard person to kick out of lane. He's got a lot of sustain, and once he reaches the ultimate, that feast will just increase his health. He's currently sitting on 3 stacks, so he's only halfway, and he's already hit 1.5 k health. Also got that catalyst, so he's gone probably for the early Rod of Ages. He's roughly, I think, 1.4k behind, so he's only 900 gold away from that Rod of Ages. In terms of Rod of Ages, it's an item that gives you health, mana, and also over every minute it gains health and mana, so a stacking item. It takes about 10 minutes to fully complete. In terms of ideal time, getting a Rod of Ages, the best time to get one is usually around 10 to 12 minutes. So by the 20-minute mark, or by the time it's 20-21 minute mark, which is usually mid-game, the item's fully stacked. Any time, like 15 is the average. Anything more than 15, it's considered you're behind. So it's a good idea. He's currently got 3 minutes in a sense to build the items, which is in the lead. Unfortunately, he's getting ganked by Lee Sin, but dodges the bomb from Ziggs and is able to just walk away. Kelly does not burn any flashes at all. There's Cho'Gath. That's his health. He's not going to really die much. Meanwhile, on top lane, Darius and Renekton sort of going mono, missing the pool, and Renekton knowing this, he jumps onto his onto God Knight. And meanwhile, on bot lane, we miss out a kill, but there's a fight happening in top lane. God Knight throws out the ultimate. Hopefully will be able to get the kill. Renekton flashes, God Knight flashes. Unfortunately, dominance from Renekton, able to give him the increased health, just helped him with the ultimate. And that damage over time managed to get the kill. Meanwhile, Annie overextending a bit too much. Caitlyn getting free auto attacks and picks up the kill onto Annie. And Wukong trying to make up and make it even. Continues to engage. Cyclones, but it's doing a lot of damage with that Elder Lizard. And let's go back to the fight. Ziggs throwing the ultimate. And I'm teleporting everywhere. Wrong people, wrong people. No, I missed out the fight. Unfortunately, Ziggs does not get the kill. Thresh does, so that's a double buff on Thresh. Probably not the best one to have. I would have enjoyed it either on Ziggs more than Caitlyn more, so she can snowball. So they're both a bit even. Unfortunately, good play by Red Team. Good play by Strike and Kazuko. They got the early kill on Jinx, which we unfortunately missed out due to the fact that we were watching the fight in top lane. So they picked up the kill on her. 2v1. Annie overextended still. They picked up the kill on her. And I think what would have happened, Annie probably tried to engage on Caitlyn, but she still doesn't have Tibbers, which is not really the best idea. Now she has Tibbers, so now's the best wombo combo for bot lane. In top lane, Renekton did manage to finish off that early Sunfire, so he's just going to be unstoppable in top lane. There's nothing much Darius can do. Unfortunately, this is where Darius kind of lost the fight. He needs a jungle gank to help him out. But he's still trying to fight, like trying to do as much damage, keep him poked down. Unfortunately, Darius, Renekton is just slicing, dicing, slashing his way through and just dealing much more damage with Call of the Meek. Meanwhile, mid lane, Mla is trying to be a bit aggressive. Mom ganks him, trying to get him low. Unfortunately, Cho'Gath is a bit too tanky. He's currently sitting on 5 stacks. His ultimate's up in 4 seconds, so he'll be able to knob up a minion. But he's going to use it onto Ziggs, because Wukong initiates and flashes with the Cyclone. Mla timing it perfectly, he picks up the kill with a feast. So there's his 6 stack. Who needs a minion when you can eat a Yordle? Yum yum for him. Back down the middle, bot lane, Thresh and Annie was sort of a little trade-off right there. And it seems that they were trying to get a hook engage onto Annie with the Lantern probably to Lee Sin to fully engage. Unfortunately, their wards, which are amazingly placed, wards everywhere in the jungle, able to catch Wukong and Cho'Gath heading down towards the fight, and were able to back off safely. That's another problem happening. Red Team doing really well with the wards. Annie getting the Tibbers engaged onto Thresh and Lee Sin. Unfortunately, the rest of the blue team did not follow up on that, except for Oscar Talawal, who was able to throw out her Super Mega Death Rocket, didn't pick up the kill, didn't get her get excited. So they already had like the combo idea already. Unfortunately, it's known like Wukong, Sir Nassel didn't have Cyclone up. Mla had his ultimate and possibly Rupture, but he was just not in the right position to get it started. Meanwhile, top lane, Renekton using his advantage, using his lead to a great advantage, he was able to just slice and dice, Call of the Meek onto the Darius and just deal not really tons of damage, but just enough damage to force Darius to back off. And so Renekton can shove off this tower. He can literally get this tower and possibly not complete it, but like able to get it really low. So good play by Renekton overall, winning this top lane. Unfortunately, God Knight 1. A couple of misplays here and there, which have solidified Renekton's lead. But I'd recommend Wukong probably having to have a say. Just help out Darius in a while. Whilst in bot lane, unfortunately, Zeba has purchased 1 pink ward to get the try done. And doesn't really do much, but Jinx trying to be a bit aggressive onto the Caitlyn. Unfortunately, Caitlyn has a better item advantage, having the Vampiric Scepter over Jinx. So Strike able to have that extra 10 damage and extra sustain, plus has potions, whereas Oscar doesn't really have those sustain items that Caitlyn does, as well as the 1 level deficit. There's a little fight happening just for the Tri-Brush, and Kazuko winning it out. He grabs a free pink ward but sacrifices his trinket and still manages to get a ward in Tri-Brush. So those wards on bot lane are absolutely amazing. They can go complete ham, completely aggressive onto Oscar and Zeba, and the only way for either Sir Nassel or Mla to actually gank effectively would have to be through lane. And if that's the case, Kazuko can just simply use his ultimate and box it and just delay it, or even flay Sir Nassel away. So in this sort of lead, it is bot lane with the lead. He does manage to get the hook onto Zeba. Zeba gets a great Tibbers onto Caitlyn. The fight's turning around, but Ziggs throwing out the ultimate, doesn't pick up any kill, or rather Oscar getting the kill onto Kazuko. So great play by blue team. So they managed to bait it in. Zeba doing a really good job baiting that in. Gets hooked, but manages to instantly tibbers Strike. Meanwhile, Strike and Oscar still battling it out in the bot lane. Third Master comes bot lane, but Sir Nassel extremely ahead, doing insane amount of damage. Managed to pick up the kill onto Ziggs with the help of Oscar. And Sir Nassel just incredibly ahead. He's got the Tiamat, he's got the longsword, so he's doing a lot of damage, and he's getting really hungry. He sees a Caitlyn. Strike, unfortunately, has to burn flash, but Sir Nassel's taking too many tower shots. We'll have to back off, otherwise he could die to this. And he's being on a ward, and Strike, great ward placements, will just miss the Piltover. So close, but so far. Oh, if only Strike had ult. I know she does have Ace in the hole, but unfortunately didn't have enough mana to pick up the kill. Great play overall, blue team getting ahead of that. Meanwhile, what that happened was Mlad did gank for God Knight 01, and they are Druku, so they must have coordinated the gank, and it was a well-placed gank. Mlad did pick up the kill on the Renekton, so now God Knight 01 is able to get a bit of free farm, slowly come back in game, and that's what he needs some assistance. Kazuko getting a little ward on Tribush, but Zeba, anticipating what Kazuko was going to do, was prepared, and Fireballs disintegrates with the stun. Still going aggressive onto Kazuko, where there's a Caitlyn just backing up in the brush below. I don't think Caitlyn was paying attention, as well as Lee Sin coming down, because they could have coordinated a well-timed gank there. Unfortunately, didn't work well. Zeba playing more aggressive, which is good to see, despite having sort of a level behind Kazuko, as well as 2 levels behind Strike. But it's good to see that they're getting aggressive. Then they needed start plays, create plays with the Tibbers and Cyclone from Wukong. Gold now is actually even. It was those kills that sort of got them back in the game. So well played by there. They're still behind on CS in bot lane. A 40 CS deficit from Oscar compared to Strike. God Knight 01 having roughly a 40 CS deficit to Moist, which is a pretty epic name. And ignore those Facebook pings. Unfortunately, that will not stop for quite a while. So that is my bad. In bot lane though, we're still going to keep a focus on it, because this is where seems almost all the action's happening. Especially since Tibbers is up, especially since Super Mega Death Rocket is up. You're going to see Oscar getting a little poke with the Zap, and Mla going aggressive onto Ziggs, doing a lot of damage, but here comes Moist trying to get a gank on him, followed by Get Mum. They're trying to 3-man this Cho'Gath. Meanwhile, bot lane, they're still trying to go aggressive onto the Caitlyn and Thresh, but Sir Nassel with the counter gank jumps onto Ziggs, gets a Cyclone, and does a lot of damage, but the Renekton pops Dominus, is fighting back, going aggressive. Meanwhile, in top lane, God Knight 01 is just standing looking pretty. Okay, doesn't back off. Unfortunately, bot lane, they do get a gauge, and Zeba gets taken really, really low. Strike using Ace and Holder, and Oscar having to block that. Unfortunately, whilst blocking it, Kazuko manages to get a great hook and secures the kill onto Oscar. So good fights everywhere. It's amazing and exciting game right now. Going into sort of group team fights, I'm very unsure what would happen, because both teams are really ahead. Sir Nassel ganking bot lane. He's been all over the map. He's still going aggressive. He wants to kill the Caitlyn. He hasn't completed the Ravenous Hydra though, but we can see that's what he's going for next. And unfortunately, Get Mom does come for a gank. He picks up the kill onto Annie. Then ward placements have managed to help him get the kill. But he's starting to get surrounded. God Knight 01 coming down, leaving top lane, thinking it's a lost cause. Coming bot lane, probably for a dragon as well, since dragon has spawned. Last still chasing onto Get Mom. Gets a silence, so Lee Sin can't really dash over to the wall, but he throws out his Q onto the wolves, will jump away and flash over. Meanwhile, in bot lane, God Knight 01 and Oscar managed to pick up the kill onto Strike, but they do lose the mid lane tower, as Third Meister manages to pick up the tower safely and is actually considering taking the blue buff. Whilst all this is happening, Moist Box is actually shoving on that top lane. Oscar, knowing this is ping for the dragon, so just probably compensate for the tower loss. But if he can do anything, he's going to try and stop this. Can he fight the Renekton? Probably, yes, he's doing a lot of damage. Renekton's actually taking tower aggro because of the Sunfire. Not choosing to stop chase, he could have probably picked up the kill. He did have his feast up, as well as his other spells, but I don't think it looked favourable for him. So they didn't really lose objective. Renekton backing on the ping. That silence not really stopping him? Interesting. I generally thought that was within range, and I thought that was a great interruption from Blair, because that would have been really well done. That silence into a rupture. Renekton would not have been able to get away, and that would have been a free kill. Unfortunately, Moist getting lucky. He's so moist, he manages to slip away. That is such a really shit pun. Oh well. In bot lane, Oscar and Zeba trying to, I don't know, still calls plays. I think that's what they want to do. They want to use their Tibbers Super Mega Death Rocket initiation. Zeba doesn't have flash though, nor does she have exhaust, so maybe they're just saying, wait for my exhaust to come up, then we'll engage. On the other side, Strike's barrier is coming up, but he still has flash. Kazuko does have ignite. So this would be an interesting fight. Wukong is unknowing what's happening, so he's coming down too. So they're just waiting for Wukong for the initiate. Exhaust still isn't up, but by the time exhaust is up, barrier is up for Strike. So we're just going to focus on a bit on this bot lane, trying to get a fight happening. They managed to clear the ward in Tri-Rush, so now blue-red team don't even know that Sir Nassau is in bot lane, but unfortunately the aggression positioning from Zebra and Oscar managed to hint them like, okay, we're about to engage now. So Kazuko and Strike backed off. Anticipation. Still trying to fight. Sir Nassau decoys in, trying to get in through, but unfortunately there is a pink ward slightly above to pick up the stealth initiation. So that was a fail play from bot lane. But they're starting to say, bait too long. Zeba, way out of position, gets surrounded by Getmum and Moistbox. Tibbers Caitlyn trying to sort of slow down the thing. And exhaust as well. It's just so Caitlyn can't really get those extra auto attacks. Unfortunately, it didn't really work. And now it's a 5-man party in bot lane. Only thing is, you got Oscar, Sir Nassau. Sir Nassau jumping onto Ziggs. We're not really able to do much. Did get them to back off, and Moist popping the Dominus. So it's a good play from blue team. Managed to get Dominus down. So that's Renekton's massive tank thing. And Sir Nassau, seeing the Ziggs out of position, jumps on him as well, gets Pop Cyclone, picks up the kill. Dominus is now finished for Renekton. Super Mega Death Rock coming through, picks up the kill on Thresh. Sir Nassau still dies from the Sunfire Ignite combo. And Oscar chasing down the Renekton. Unfortunately, will not get the kill. However, Mla going in for a fight. He does have ultimate and picks up the kill, feasting onto the Crocodile. He felt like Crocodile this morning, gets the kill. And still tries to chase Caitlyn. Unfortunately, Caitlyn flashes away. Meanwhile, in top lane, God Knight 01 senses a kill. He feels his redemption time. He sees a Lee Sin. Unfortunately, Lee Sin does have a bit of armor and can just jump around. So, it's about the 2 level advantage for God Knight 01. Getmum will be able to hopefully escape. But God Knight 01's farming. He's starting to come again. Renekton rotated bot, hoping to get some kills. Yes, they got a kill onto the Wukong. Yes, they got a kill on the on Zeba. Unfortunately, they lost Kazuko. He died himself. They lost third Maester. They lost 3 people for 2. Blue team are winning in these fights, and that's where they're coming back from. Yes, they're losing CS wise. Yes, they're losing probably objective wise as well. They are down a tower, but they managed to pick up a dragon to sort of compensate for it. But all that, they're coming back in team fights. The wombo combo with Zeba's Tibbers, with Wukong's Cyclone, Jinx's Super Mega Death Rocket. Don't forget to mention Cho'Gath's Rupture. So all this little AoE, specifically either nuking, damage, disruption they have, can catch a lot of teams off guard. And they're not really probably chaining it as effectively as probably a well-coordinated 5s team. They're doing very well for a solo queue team. All being sort of, this is a solo queue game again, so doing very well. Renekton, Moistbox is sort of on the ward, and he's getting surrounded from everyone. Sir Nassau jumps in, pops a Cyclone, Moistbox having to pop Dominus, but Sir Nassau taking a lot of damage from Dominus, from the Sunfire Cap, as well as a Caitlyn who was sitting back, shooting him down. Thankfully, he was able to get away because his team does still engage, but Oscar picking up the kill, and Mla and God Knight 01 coordinating, trying to get the Caitlyn. Don't really get the kill. God Knight still playing aggressive. He had his E up, and he gets it, pulls it onto Lee Sin. Lee Sin extremely low, could die. No, unfortunately, does not fall to the ignite. Zeba throwing out the tippers, maybe to scare him off. It's working, because now blue team can get this tower. Kazuko having to use the box, trying to do as much as he can to delay them. Unfortunately, without the Jinx, they could have easily taken the tower much sooner. So they're trying to do their best they can. They have gotten the tower. Sir Nassau sort of still trying to zone them out, and him and Zeba should back off right now because red team are all the way up. Meanwhile, in mid lane, Oscar was able to 1v1 third Maester, so that's really good. So now, for blue team, they're coming back. You don't want Jinx fed. She does a lot of damage from afar. Personally, the Jinx Caitlyn, who do I prefer late game? I've always preferred Jinx. The only reason why I prefer Jinx is because, first up, her kit, I find it's much more appealing than Caitlyn. And Oscar able to pick up the tower and was able to get excited to run away fast as he can. Get Mum not really anticipating how fast Oscar was moving at that time, and misses the Q. So, unfortunate play for Sonic Wave Resonating Strike. Yeah, so I was right. Alright, so they missed the Sonic Wave. But they do manage to pick up the tower. Great hook from Kazuko, gets onto the Oscar, so that's Jinx down. They have no ADC, they don't have the main damage dealer. So Nassau is still top lane doing the white camp, so now you've only got Blanc on Trogath trying to delay the push, and he can do quite well. Going sort of AP with just a Rod of Ages, he'll be able to wave clear quite effectively. Unfortunately, they do lose the middle inhib tower and the top inner turret. So both inner turrets going down. It's still a 4 towers equal, and blue team still have the 1k gold lead. I'd assume it's from the kills as well, and the earlier dragon. Unfortunately, once this dragon gets picked up by the red team, they're going to take the gold lead. And no, they're still behind. Okay, I miscalculated. My fault there. Unfortunately, blue team have the timer onto the dragon, and they're trying to pick up some exit kills. Cernas are taking a lot of damage right. He finds Get Mum, jumps onto him with the Cyclone, but he's taking a lot of damage in return from Ziggs. Ziggs' ultimate, and the Caitlyn Ace picks up the kill onto him. No, he doesn't. He gets him low enough for Dominus and Sunfire Wombo combo to pick up the kill. Unfortunately, Get Mum being in probably the most obvious places, Zeba was able to come around, delay the push, but he's taking a lot of damage. Great hook from Kazuko will pick up the kill onto the Annie, and this is just a really disorganized fight. All the vision from red team were able to figure out where blue team were running into. Sir Nasal initiating, and he's still quite squishy. Look at his items. He's going straight damage, so he's going to die quite fast if they were able to turn around. He initiates onto Lee Sin, who is one of the few tanky players for red team. Get Mum isn't squishy. He is someone who does sort of takes a bit of damage. So Get Mum was able to survive long enough for the red team to pick up the kill onto Sir Nazzle. It's a really bronzy game, I guess. So you have one team who has the lead, and then they throw it. There was still 1k gold ahead once red team were able to take dragon, and fortunately those fights that happened didn't really work in their favor, and red team were able to gain not only that 1k deficit, but also gain a lead from it as well, 1k. So they gained 2,000 gold team wise in that sort of fighting. And that went on to Renekton, that went on to Caitlyn. So not only did you have an amplifier of a tank, you also have an amplifier of a damage dealer. And blue team trying to pick up more fights. They want to fight. They see third Maester going up in top lane, Mlad trying to get a rupture to start initiating the fight. And that's what they want. They want to start a fight. They want to group up 4v5 right now. Lee Sin they don't know where Lee Sin is, so it's 3v5. To their best knowledge, they think it's 3v5. So Nazel running up, sees the Lee Sin, they know where Ziggs is, and yet they back off. They had the 3v5. I don't think they could have easily initiated. Annie had no flash, and couldn't really do much. While Sucks popping the talisman, trying to get onto Oscar, but while he's doing that, Wukong was able to get onto the Caitlyn and Cyclone. Meanwhile, Mla, Zeba, God Knight, all fighting the Renekton Lee Sin, the two tankers people, but they were able to kite them all around. Oscar picking up a kill, God Knight picking up the kill. The rest of the other two teams, Ziggs, Thresh, they're still weak. Where's Caitlyn? She has to back up because Sir Nazel's had a great jump onto her. The fight's still going wild. Lands a beautiful rupture with Feral Scream onto Ziggs. He able to chuck him down low and then pops the ignite to finalize the kill. It's a great play from blue team, losing only 2 for 3. And Oscar's still alive. Godno's still alive. Ma's still alive. Unfortunately for that, technical issues did happen. I had to quickly step out, but roll back. Not sure what missed. I believe they were not able to take the middle tower and they just backed off. So, no play from blue team. They were able to even up the gold deficit to 1, to actually pretty even. And minions picking up the bottom outer turret, so that 1k deficit is still back onto them. It's dawning, but dragons spawning in a minute and 40 seconds. Probably a dragon fight will happen. Clearly, blue team are really interested in getting fights happening. They want to fight. They want to use their rupture from Cho'Gath, Cyclone again, Tibbers. That sort of AoE disruption team CC utility, which I've mentioned multiple times. Unfortunately, Jinx does get caught out, so that little mini catch out from Thresh, Lee Sin manages to pick up the kill onto Oscar, so Oscar is down. That's no way to see for 39 seconds. Red team can probably pressure mid lane. Meanwhile, Golden Knight on 1, in sort of sneaking over back, he finds Third Meister. He's trying to get a little kill onto Third Meister, pops Decimate, cutting strike. Unfortunately, the ultimate does not pick up the kill, and he just takes the Lantern to freedom. And Moistbox jumping in on a backline, he's smelling kills as well. He's able to 1v3, but he's taking quite low. Golden Knight on 1 and Sir Nazel were able to sort of handle him themselves. Sir Nazel still going aggressive. He wants small kills. Fortunately, didn't realize that the rest of red team were around the corner. All this is happening. Vlad did die to Lee Sin Caitlyn, so he's down. It is a flash hook onto from Kazuko, but great decoy from Sir Nazel. Anticipated it amazingly. Strike sort of a bit too far. He's taking a lot of tower aggros. Oscar taking advantages, throws a great chompers which secure the snare onto Strike, followed by Zap to just isolate, to slow him down into those positioning, and picks up the kill. Sir Nazel with Home Guard was able to get back in the middle lane, and he's trying to get up more fights. Fortunately didn't have Cyclone, and a good satchel charge from Third Meister managed to push him back and just disengage off him. All in all, fights everywhere, throws everywhere. Global objectives, nothing was taken. None were actually taken. So, no global objectives were actually taken from all those kills. The 1k gold leads now turned to 2k from all the kills. And blue team are actually going for a desperation Baron. Unfortunately, red team with the ward advantage were able to anticipate this, and now they're engaging, but Moistbox taking quite low. Sir Nazel jumping onto the Thresh and Lee Sin with his ultimate. Great super mega death rocket onto Thresh, picks up the kill for Oscar. So that's Thresh down. Lee Sin is really low. He nearly died from that super mega death rocket, but they know where Lee Sin is. Unfortunately, none of them are able to get to him. Instead, they run away, and they're trying to focus onto the Moistbox, who still has dominance. So good ultimate from Ziggs. He's Mega Inferno Bomb. Managed to pick up the kill onto Annie. And Dominus was popped from Moistbox. Now Golden Knight on 1, trying to get a little ballsy. Trying to probably pick up some exit kills. Great flame choppers coming from Oscar. Managed to snare both Moistbox and Third Meister, but no kills were able to come off from it. So 1-for-1 exchange. Both supports going... both supports dying, both junglers going extremely low, so very very close matchup right there. The fights are really even. I think it's just the gold lead on the red team were able to keep them up with the team fights, as well as that fact that blue team aren't really chaining their sort of team combo effectively and efficiently. Where Sir Nazel's ulting, there's no follow up, any ultimate rupture. Super Mega Death Rocket comes in way too late. So the follow-up, sort of the chaining of it is just not fluent. it's there, but I wasn't expecting much of it anyway. Moistbox sort of walking around in the wrong area, but could it be a potential bait? He's taking quite a lot from the zap and auto attacks from the Oscar. Oscar's taking a step too far, gets hooked by Kazuko, having to force flash, but Moistbox around the corner is going aggressive as well. Oscar extremely low, gets a kill with Super Mega Death Rocker, and Surnazzle picks up the kill onto Thresh. He then flashes Cyclones onto Ziggs. Caitlyn having the flash the other way, and so does Ziggs. The Ziggs driven really low. Meanwhile, Zebra, God Knight are fighting on to get Mom, pick up the kill on him, and it's going crazy. And lastly, we've got the chase from last Strike and God Knight onto Zebra. Strike missing the 90 caliber net over the wall, so it doesn't really get away. Clean ace coming from blue team. That was a clean ace. I don't believe Oscar died. I think he just survived. Ignite didn't really kill him. That would have been amazing. Either way, where's Oscar? He's coming up to mid lane. He's running as fast as he can. They can get an inhib out of this. Spawn time is 5 seconds for Moistbox, and then it's 10 seconds for Get Mum. Unfortunately, blue team don't feel ballsy enough to take the inhib because Kazuko is on his way, speeding like little lantern man he is. He doesn't want to deliver you the lantern news like the paper boy he is. Oh well. Soul City will have to wait. Their news are not getting anywhere. Meanwhile, Oscar moving up, rotating to top lane, trying to pick up the inner turret there, trying to get the tower lead. He does get it with Surnazzle's help, so them two doing lots of damage on tower. If they're not killed early in the team fight and blue team managed to win every time while they're still alive, I think in terms of objective sort of shredding and just like out of destruction, taking down objective towers, inhibitors, I think it's a big possibility that blue team can easily not maybe end the game after one team fight objective push, maybe after like 2 or 3. God Knight 1 still taking a few auto attacks from Caitlyn, still hurts. Like he's not that tanky, but he can tank a lot. Moistbox is also that massive frontline or something that is probably troublesome for Oscar, but luckily last time he flashed away, he doesn't have flash this time, so he has to be extra careful of that hook. Kazuko landing the hooks brilliantly. I've seen several hooks all because of Kazuko. And he's sort of a bit out of position, but manages to walk away. I don't think the hook came out from Kazuko. So we've now gone back into the mid lane. There is a siege. Ziggs is on blue buff, and he used his Mega Inferno bomb onto the blue buff, so there is no Ziggs. So it's a 4v5. Unfortunately, blue team not really unsure of where Ziggs is, let alone how much mana he's on and health. He's really, really low. And God Knight want to sort of around the corner, but none of them really know where he is. They've got no vision to figure out where he was. Granted, they've upped their wards, but they didn't really sort of know where he is. Unfortunately, they did know Dragon Timer and pick up the dragon. And meanwhile, whilst all this is happening, remember about 8 minutes ago, it was 2k lead for red team. Now it's a 4k deficit. With all those team fights, with that dragon, that middle inner turret, that top inner turret, blue team escalate to a 4k lead. Now Talisman was popped by Kazuko. He's trying to go aggressive. Lands a hook onto Mla. Mla taken extremely low, forcing the rupture, forcing the feast. He manages to pick up the kill onto Strike just before dying. Amazing play by Mla. Surnazzle able to jumping into the backline with Cyclone, picking up the kill onto Third Meister was God Knight 1, picking up the kill onto both Kazuko and Moistbox. So now it's a 4-for-1 exchange. That was a good hook from Kazuko. They could not kill the Cho'Gath in time. He's way too tanky, and he did a lot of damage. He landed the Rupture, landed the Feral Scream onto Strike, as well as Feast, and that picked up the kill onto Strike. And like I said, both Surnazzle and Oscar are alive. They didn't die. Now look at these tails. Look at how fast they're going. This is going to be a game. GG, well played. Amazing team fight from blue team. The past 4 team fights going really amazing with them. They managed to pick up the kills in all fights. Surnazzle, Oscar still alive, managed to take on towers. Great play overall. Mla surviving to the bitter end and picking up the kill and follow up. Great play. Well done. And hopefully see you guys next time.